Got it. Okay.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Right, so welcome to this session. We are right in the middle of a working day. So if you're anything like me, you might be bringing some kind of residue of thoughts from this morning, perhaps from this week. So I thought I'd start with a short arrival practice to mentally arrive and emotionally arrive in this session. And the practice is going to be a 3-step breathing practice. So it will take between 10 and 15 minutes. So take a couple of moments now to make sure your surroundings are set up so that you won't be disturbed. And find a position which is comfortable for you. And it can be any position which works for you. You might want to lengthen your spine if you've been sitting for a while, or kind of wiggle your weight between your sit bones. I like to let my hips fall into a comfortable position as well. And then I'll invite you to close your eyes, or you could cast your gaze downwards, just whichever one feels more comfortable for you. So here we are together amidst whatever's happened for us already today. And we're going to begin with focusing on the breath. So just breathing in and breathing out. And sometimes at the start of a practice, I like to just make a mental note of which is which. So labeling, breathing in, breathing out. Observing the air as it moves in and out. And just breathing at whatever pace is natural to you. You don't need to force anything. You're just watching. And I'm sure you both took a lot of steps to get to this moment, to be here together. So just arrive here in this moment. Focus your attention on your breath. And you're actually always here and now. So really, you're just releasing thoughts of being somewhere else. Focus on which parts of your body move as you breathe. For some people, it's their chest moving. For others, it's their stomach that moves. Notice if your chest or stomach move up and down. Or maybe it's more of an expansion out and a contraction in. And maybe you've been distracted or pulled into thought. So just gently and kindly focus back on the breath. It's no big deal. I'll invite you to place your hands on your tummy now. And as you continue to breathe, just notice any movement in your hands. Maybe they separate a little bit more when you breathe in or when you breathe out, and then they come back together again. And now taking your hands and moving them up to your ribs. And doing the same thing, observing how your hands move with your ribs as you breathe in and breathe out. Is it just your hands that are moving, or are your wrists moving? Is it your whole arm that moves with your breath? And again, if you've been pulled away into thoughts or emotions, just gently bring your attention back to the breath. The breath is happening here and now. You don't need to judge yourself if you have wandered off into thought. In fact, that moment of returning from thoughts and emotions and arriving back into the here and now, that remembering over and over again, that is the practice of mindfulness. And then moving your hands to your chest now. Noticing any movement in your hands. Maybe there's a really subtle movement if you can feel your heart beating. Notice if your hands are moving more or less than when they were on your ribs. Continuing to breathe, continuing to pull your attention back to the breath. And now take your hands and rest them in your lap. Just feel the weight of your hands back on your legs now. And as we start to bring the practice to a close, just become aware of your environment. So notice any sounds around you. Those sounds might move into your awareness and then fade back out again. Notice the temperature of the air. Maybe any movement in the air or any breeze. Noticing how the air feels on your skin. Maybe on your face. And when you're ready, just tuck your chin to your chest. And on your next out breath, just slowly start blinking your eyes until they're open. And you might want to take a couple of moments just to wriggle or stretch or yawn or cough, scratch, shake, making us sound like cats and dogs. But you might have found that after a busy morning, to then come and sit still like that, you've got some wriggles that you want to get out. Great, so hopefully you feel like you've arrived then in this session. Our longer session today is going to be a body scan practice. And really, the body scan gives us an opportunity to develop our awareness of the body and tune into what our physical form is trying to communicate. But it can also be a great way to access the present moment and bring yourself into the here and now, because our experience of our bodies is happening in the here and now. So throughout the practice, I'm going to guide you on directing your attention to different parts of the body and any sensations that you might be feeling in those parts of the body. But if at any time that makes you feel uncomfortable, then don't hesitate to just switch your attention maybe to the breath, or you could even just switch your attention back to the feeling of your feet on the floor, or even anything that you're noticing in your environment. You don't need to stay focusing on an area of your body if it makes you feel uncomfortable. As always, just take the bits that resonate and feel free to leave the rest. Okay, so taking some final stretches then, and then we're going to get back into a comfortable sitting position. And try and find a position that makes you feel alert and awake, but also feels quite natural to your body and how you would sit. Make sure you feel supported by the chair that you're in and supported by the floor. So placing both feet flat on the floor. Maybe you feel like you need to balance and wriggle a little bit to make sure you feel properly settled and you feel supported. And because this practice is a little bit longer, you might want to place a blanket over your legs if you think your body temperature is going to drop at all. And now we're settled, on your next out breath, just close your eyes or cast your gaze downwards. Again, whichever feels more comfortable for you. Either way, try and just steady your eyes in one spot. We're going to begin with focusing on the breath. As we did earlier, you might want to make note of the in-breath and the out-breath. Become aware of how each breath just replaces the previous one. Notice the slight pause that happens at the end of the inhale and at the end of the exhale before the cycle begins again. And breathe at a natural pace, don't force anything. Notice which parts of your body are moving as you breathe. Maybe it's your chest or your stomach. And how they're moving. Are they moving up and down? Or expanding out and in? Widening your focus now, just become aware of your physical body as a whole. You can do this by scanning the body slowly from top to bottom and from bottom to top. Notice any feelings of heaviness or lightness. Any feelings of having lots of energy or any feelings of tiredness. Maybe you can feel your circulation somewhere in particular. Not dwelling in that area, just making a note of it and then continuing to scan up and down. And there's no right or wrong here. We don't need anything in particular to happen. So any experience you're having is okay. Scan down the whole body now until your attention is at your feet, resting and stable on the ground underneath you. You might want to gently wiggle the toes to help you direct your attention there. And notice if there's any parts of your feet that you can sense more than others. Maybe it's your toes more than the heel. Maybe you can sense the sole of your foot. Maybe you can sense the ankle balancing on top of your foot. And maybe sensing one foot more than the other. Moving your attention up now to your lower legs and your knees. Noticing how much you can actually sense into these parts of your body. And if you find yourself being drawn into thoughts or feelings, just gently bring the attention back to your calves and your shins and your knees. As I said before, it's no big deal. Move your attention now to your upper legs, your hips and your glutes. I'm aware of any tightness that you can feel, or perhaps you can feel ease. And if you notice any tightness or perhaps some aches, I invite you to lightly place your attention there and take a couple of breaths in and out. Just notice if your experience of that tightness and those aches changes as you place your attention there whilst you're breathing. Gently moving your attention up into your pelvis now, your stomach, your lower back, the center of the body, noticing any feelings or sensations there. Notice any feelings of tightness or softness, or maybe it just feels neutral. Any of those sensations are okay. Just recognize the sensation. Don't label it right or wrong. We're not trying to achieve any specific feeling. So moving your awareness up into your ribs now, your chest, noticing how they move with the breath and in which direction they move. And when I asked you to focus on your ribs or your chest, did you focus on the front of your body or the back of your body? Perhaps see if you can notice sensations on both sides. Drawing your focus up now to your shoulders and your neck. Noticing any urges to move those parts of your body. Can you feel any tension? Or do you feel at ease? And we'll change direction slightly now. So move your focus down from your shoulders and your neck into your left arm. Taking your focus down your upper arm to your elbow. Your forearm. Your wrist. The palm of your hand. The back of your hand. Your fingers. And then move the focus back up that left arm. All the way up to the shoulder. Across the collarbone. And then start moving your focus into your right arm. Moving down slowly and noticing the sensations as you move your focus. Maybe you can feel your clothes against your arm. And even though your hand's not necessarily moving, see if you can sense an aliveness there. Maybe you can feel your circulation or feeling of tingling. letting go of that feeling now, and just move your focus up your right arm into your neck and then into your face. Becoming aware of any feeling in your jaw. Becoming aware of any feelings in your cheeks. Maybe noticing if they're warm or cold or somewhere in between. Moving your attention to your forehead, your eyebrows, the space between your eyebrows. Noticing any tension or any ease. Just try and soften into any tension if you have got any. And then move your focus up to your scalp and down the back of your head. See if you can feel any sensations there. Maybe some quite new sensations if you haven't focused there before. And in the last few minutes now, just move your awareness to your whole body. Noticing any areas that feel particularly alive. Areas that feel more still. Notice if you can feel any sensations of where you come into contact with the chair, with the floor, where your skin is brushing against your clothes. Become aware now of your body in the environment that you're in. Noticing the temperature of the air and how that feels against your skin. noticing the sounds around you and how far away they feel. And I'll invite you now to just tuck your chin to your chest. And just take a moment to notice how you're feeling now compared to the beginning of the practice. And when you feel ready, slowly start to blink your eyes and open them. You might like to bring your shoulders up to your ears and have a stretch. Take your time to come out of that practice. Great. So we'll now open it up to you both. I'll invite you to share any observations or comments that you have